by the Cowboys on Friday after 8 seasons in Dallas. After he was released, Dez tweeted that it was not his decision, and he called out a lot of people, telling NFL Network that the, quote, Garrett guys are to blame. This was referring to the team captains, which include people like Dak Prescott, Jason Witten, and Sean Lee. Let's take a listen to Dez on Jerry Jones' decision.
Jerry Jones, he loved me to death, and I love him too. I honestly believe in my heart, you know, this was a hard decision for him, but, you know, when it's 5 or 6 guys at a table against one guy, you got to do it. It was an unfair situation, you know, because if they did want to, you know, get rid of me, they could have told me that. You know, they could have told me that, and I would have respected that, just like I told Jerry in the meeting, you know. I respect his decision.
Shannon, what do you make of this?
Skip, this move was inevitable, but it was handled very, very poorly. Stephen Jones said before they went to the Combine, which was in, I think, the second week of February, that they were going to have this conversation sooner rather than later.
Yep.
They had this conversation almost 7 weeks after Stephen Jones made his original statement. My thing is, why would it take you so long? You had a general idea. We've been talking about this for the longest, Skip. They're either going to ask him to take a pay cut or they're going to outright release him. If I'm Dez, and I thought Dez some of this also, you got to have your representation. Rock Nation said, look, Jerry, we need to have a conversation. Because if you're going to release Dez or you're going to ask him to take a pay cut, can we have this sooner rather than later? Yep. So when free agency starts, maybe I can get one of those Allen Robinson deals. Maybe I can get one of those Sammy Watkins deals. But it was handled poorly. Dez is blaming everyone. Dez could have made this a moot point, Skip. When Dez is alone with himself and he's with his own thoughts.
Yep.
Does 750 yards and a couple of touchdowns, does that warrant $12.5 million? The 6 touchdowns and under 1,000 yards, does that warrant $12.5 million? Skip, they had 3 years of declining production, and Jerry left him at that salary. Dez, do you honestly believe if Jerry Jones wanted you on that team, you wouldn't be on that team? Skip, Jerry Jones, this is what, on the cutting block on Jerry Jones' resume. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Deion Sanders, Larry Allen. 4 first ballot Hall of Fame guys that Jerry Jones said, you know what, guys? The money that you're scheduled to make next year, we don't think you're worth it. You see, when I got released from the Broncos, I mean, when they didn't re-sign me in free agency, it was easy. Mike Shanahan was not only the head coach, he was the general manager.
Yep.
So he couldn't say, well, I want you, but the coach doesn't.
Yep.
He can't say, I want you, but the GM doesn't. Hell, he wore both hats. Jerry Jones has made it abundantly clear on how many occasions, Skip, the buck stopped with him. When Jerry wants something, he gets it. The only problem that I have is that Jerry waited so long, because if you're going to release him or if you're going to ask him to take a pay cut, you could have done this in February and give him a fair opportunity to go out into the free agent market. But Dez, don't do that. Don't say it's Jason Witten, and I get it. Because, like, hold on. Jason Witten, when last time Jason Witten had a 100-yard game? When last time he ran away from somebody? But y'all come from my money. Dez, don't talk about this about the captain, about you didn't become a captain. So what? You go out there for the coin toss. What that's not, come on, Skip. And I get it. The frustration, the anger, because you've been there for such a long time, and you feel, they don't, Skip. It's hard to handle rejection. When you come to the realization they no longer want you. That's tough. But Dez, the question is now, is it about revenge or about getting in a situation that can help you show what you're capable of?
Yep.
For me, when I left Denver, Skip, it wasn't to prove them wrong. It was to prove me right, to prove that I can still play at a high level. Dad, you believe you can? Go find you a good team, go win, and prove to the Cowboys that you still got it.
So you make a fair point about the timing of this, but let's look at the statement issued by one Jerry Jones. And you and I have talked about this for a couple of years now. Jerry's statement after releasing Dez was, Dez and I share a personal and professional relationship that is very strong, and he is one of just a handful of players with whom I have become that close to over the past 30 years. So all those guys, those first ballot Hall of Famers, I don't think Jerry was as close to any of those as he was to Des Bryant.
Probably only Michael.
I'm not even sure about that in the end because Michael had his issues and Jerry kept sort of covering for him and defending him until it got pretty dicey. But I think that the biggest soft spot in Jerry's heart was for one Des Bryant. So I can argue with you, he just procrastinated. You know, he just put it off until the last second because he's going to count against the cap. I think it's starting today. There's a deadline coming up money-wise. I can also argue that the cold-blooded businessman in Jerry was saying, well, if I'm going to do this, I should just wait. I should wait, because obviously, of all people, Jerry doesn't want Dez to come back and haunt the Dallas Cowboys. So what's the best way to keep him from haunting is to not let him go to the team of choice. You know, make it bargain basement. Make it where he has to scramble to find a team and a spot where other teams have all given out their cap money and they have bet on this #1 receiver and that #2 receiver.
The draft is, what, 10 days away now, Skip? So they've set the board as far as receivers. But I felt, Skip, all along, I said, Skip, they're going to box him in. They're going to put him in a situation. The free agency is going to be dried up. We're going to be a couple of weeks out for the draft. And everybody's like, well, man, if I knew Dez was available, I could have done X, Y, and Z. But
okay, would you want Dez to come back and haunt you if you're Jerry Jones? Didn't you now rig the system as best you could to keep him from coming back to haunt you?
I agree with that, Skip. But if that's what you read in that statement is true, he owed it to Dez to let him go. If you love me as much, if he's as close as you said he is, you let him go.
Well,
because you don't.
Said he is.
It's simple. My grandfather said, boy, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And Jerry Jones is saying, Dez, for them $12.5 million, that production you give me, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, now back to Dez's contention that the Garrett guys got him. Dez, you were a Garrett guy. That's just me, because I watched Jason Garrett for years coddle Dez, protect Dez, defend Dez to the media, keep Dez in the starting lineup last year, and more important, in the game plan last year, because 1/4 of Dak Prescott's passes last year went to 88. Boy, I got to tell you, I know Jerry has some input into this, but that's Jason Garrett. He's basically the offensive coordinator when it comes to game planning, and so he could pull the plug on Dez Bryant or not, and that's when I'm over here just pounding the desk Monday after Monday. Where is Bryce Butler? Because he's faster than Dez, he's healthier than Dez, he can actually get open in ways that Dez no longer could get open. And I think we both agreed from the start, starting in Game 2, the debacle at Denver, that Dez Bryant's broken down. He's lost a step that he couldn't afford to lose because he doesn't run many routes to start with, and he's lost confidence because he led the NFL in drop passes. So to me, as I've been saying now for, a couple of months, the Dallas Cowboys are better off without Dez Bryant. They don't have an answer. They don't have another Dez waiting in the wings. But I still say the offense will be better next year all around because Dak will be able to spread the ball. He won't be so Dez conscious, Dez dependent.
And again, that's Dallas's fault, Skip, because if you release Dez in the beginning, maybe you're in play to make a play for Allen Robinson. Maybe you're in play to make a play for Sammy Watkins.
By all reports, they made a big play for Sammy Watkins, and they just came up a few dollars short.
But just imagine if you had all that $16 million cap space. Imagine what you could have done.
Maybe.
Because with Dez still on your roster, that guy's like, hold on. So what did they tell him? Because if they knew they were going to release Dez, they owed him that because he's looking at what Dez is still on your roster. So if I come there, Dez in his mind thinks he's the #1. I know what you told me. I know what you're paying me. But as long as Dez is at 88 on the Cowboys, Skip, what does he believe?
But remember, once they made their play, reportedly for Sammy Watkins, then Dez was already effectively cut. It was just a matter of telling him.
Right. And that's
because you already had that money to play with in your mind because you're going to cut him before the deadline.
But why not go ahead, Skip? Why not let that man get an opportunity to go on the free agent market? Why not? If you care about him, that much,
Shannon, this isn't church, right?
Oh, I know
it's not church football, right?
I know it's lip service.
I'm sorry.
So turn that what you read. Oh, he done got close to somebody for 30 years, and he done released some of everybody.
Professional relationship that is very strong. Only a handful of players have I had this kind of relationship.
But I'm gonna hold on to you so you can't go get max dollars on the free agent market, and everybody be done signed all the guys, and their working days go.
Yep. Well, to me, you make a fair point, but that's just Jerry being Jerry. In the end, his his sort of head overcame his heart. I'm sure Stephen Jones had a lot to do with that. I'm sure Jason Garrett and the captains all had a lot. It was screaming. It was clear.
Yeah.
Wasn't it clear to everybody?
Except probably Dez.
Not Dez, except for Dez Bryant. But to me, this is just more childish lashing out.
Yes.
From
It hurts,
Dez.
Skip. It hurts. I've been there.
I got it.
Dez, I've been there. I was 10 years with the Broncos.
But to your point, this is a Dez who was never forced by Jerry Jones to grow up in Dallas. And now he's going to be forced to grow up.
Yeah.
And I think it could be great for both parties because Dez is now going to be forced to pick up and move somewhere else for the first time in a long time.
He's going to have to get out of that comfort zone. He's going to have to learn a new system because what Dez Bryant accomplished in Cowboys, it's not transferable.
Nope.
You don't get to say, oh, I'm here. No, bro. You start all over. It's like being in school and you move when you're young. You got a bunch of friends over here, but you go there, you don't get to bring them friends with you. You got to build new friends. So you got to start a new resume at a new locale, Dez. You can do it. But don't, and we see this far too often. When Richard Sherman got released, what was the first thing he said? I want to go somewhere that plays the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did it one better. He went to the same division, and now he got an opportunity to play him twice.
He did?
I didn't worry about revenge, Skip. I'm trying to win because if I worry about getting back at people, how in the hell do I get ahead of them?
Okay, so Des says, give me the NFC East. Now let's look quickly at the NFC East. Do the Giants want another Odell personality who can't even play like Odell?
Washington could use him.
Washington could use him. Philly, I don't think they want to throw that grenade into the locker room with Des Bryant with all the personalities they got, right?
No.
I don't think so.
I
But
mean,
maybe Washington.
Can he go to – well, I mean, Skandrick went to the Washington.
But they spent a bunch of money for Paul Richardson from the Seahawks.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, for me, the best fit for him is with Ozzie Newsome because that team will take well, you did it, right?
Yeah, they got
veteran wide receivers.
They got subs.
You know, and just figure it out. You just sort of it's a new life with a new mentality. It's like a really professional atmosphere with Ozzie. I know this is last year's, right?
And they had great success with Steve Smith Sr.
They did. They sure did. So, I know there are a lot of reports the Texans would be interested. I would not wish Dez Bryant on Deshaun Watson. Seriously. He can stunt your growth, man. He's difficult.
Yeah.
And at some point, when he won't run the route tree that you used to run, he's going to be more trouble than he's worth.
Well, who knows? Maybe this change will be what forces him to do that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Revenge is winning, after all. Next up, the Patriots' voluntary workout programs start today, but according